Hey everyone, thanks for joining in here. Today we have a special treat. Today is going to be an experience video of one of my past clients, Bill Duggan. He worked with me from the beginning to the end, and he's now grown his career salary to 75%. So we're going to talk about what happened, how that all went down, and Bill. You can introduce yourself, and then we can jump right into it.
Yeah, thanks, Dave, and appreciate you having me on here. It's been a journey for sure. So before everything began, I've a little bit about me is 13 years as a supply chain logistics manager in small, medium, and large scale companies, and I decided to take a transition in my career right around 2016, during a time where I started realizing there was a lot more things I could be doing efficiently at work. And data science kind of was a hot topic around then. But I also knew that I had the skills already. So I decided to really just kind of figure out what it's like, what with programming, and I had no previous programming experience, but definitely interested in that. And so I was with the company for about 7 years during this time, and coincidentally, around the time COVID, there was a little bit of a shakedown with the company, and I was let go, unfortunately. But I was already, in the wheels were already in motion with data science, and I knew that I had to keep going. I'm the type of person that doesn't really like to quit and doesn't really like to be told that they can't be doing something. So I went full on, decided to go into a degree, a graduate degree at NJIT, New Jersey Institute of Technology, where it took me about 2 years to complete this master's. And alongside, I started my family, so there was a lot of things in motion
You're
during this
juggling a lot of
time.
balls. You're juggling a lot of balls. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I really kind of went all in during this time because that's basically what I had the vision that I wanted to provide more for my family, and and I had an interest that aligned with a professional transition.
Yeah, yeah. So, um, you kind of had this vision of, all right, how can I combine these two skills I have? I have skills with or domain knowledge with supply chain logistics, and then seeing data science is going to be more and more prevalent as years go by. So you combine those two things. Um, you know, and so that kind of explains what life was like before you met me. What other things did you do, kind of on your own, before we started working together?
Yeah, it's a good question, Dave. I mean, I feel like I thought I was doing things differently, and more effectively, but I was about 7 years removed from interviewing or even trying to put together what would resemble a resume and just have a conversation with others on my skills because I was pretty much reflected internally, but I didn't need that. What I needed was guidance and coaching on what I can do to improve. So just basically doing a lot of research, trying to find different environments that would help me facilitate this type of information and put it all into one place and organize my thoughts and my accomplishments and my history and put that all on paper. I was applying to jobs without really understanding what it is that I did before and what I want to do, in the future, and trying to put those two pieces together was a little bit of an internal conflict, right? Because I didn't want to fabricate anything, but I also wanted to make sure that my accomplishments were really highlighted.
Yeah, yeah, and a lot of people don't kind of like see this, but your resume is like a marketing document, right? And I think a lot of times we're so deep into the skills that we have and things that we've done, and it's hard to take that third party perspective to zoom out, um, and then uh, really articulate your strengths, your skills, your abilities, your accomplishments in a way that someone from the outside is going to help you to see, right? Because I think that a lot of times we have this thing called like the curse of knowledge, right? We know so much, so inside of so technical and know all the stuff, but it's like from someone from the outside, they read that, they don't really know what's going on. So having that third party perspective to help you market yourself and help you to communicate those things in a way that really hits was one of the big pieces.
Yeah, absolutely. And I knew that it was going to take more than just myself, bashing my head against the wall, so to speak, trying to apply. And I did apply within those 2 years, right? I mean, we went through so many details of these applications that it started getting lost in translation. So
Hmm.
organization was huge, and holding, when you were holding me accountable, that's basically what I needed.
Yeah, yeah, totally. And so, um, you went into different. Essentially, you look at different, companies, look at different ways, doing research on who to work with. But eventually, you landed on me. Um, what did you first find out, or I should say, how did you first find out about me, and what was like your biggest hesitation before moving forward?
Yeah, it's a good question. So again, during this time where everything was kind of just up in the air, and I'm frantically running around trying to apply to jobs and find out how to show myself in a better light. LinkedIn was basically the platform that I was really using at the time, and you just happened to message me out of the blue and ask if I needed any help. And
Hmm.
right from then, it was nice to have that sort of connection, right? Because I can do my research and I can apply online. But if you're going to come and directly approach me, trying to help, then I'm all ears. So we hit it off that first meeting when you gave me a call and I gave you the down low of everything. It was more that the personal side, the personal touch that you had that set yourself away from the competition. And there were others, right? But there were more disingenuine, I would say, and more, looking at me as a number instead of as an individual human being, right? And well, when we had that connection and you understood and you put yourself in my place, it was refreshing that you were there just to not only listen but to offer your domain experience and your advice, and that really hit home to get those different techniques and methodologies that you were providing me with and putting that all on paper.
Yeah, yeah. So
And,
yeah, so we
yeah,
started working together. Um, you know, uh, was there anything that like really stood out for you? What were some of the takeaways or approaches or techniques that um, really hit home for you?
yeah. So the Scampi right off the bat was effective. I like putting that together because then that was a general overview of what it is that I needed to do going forward,
Hmm.
right? So
Hmm.
one sentence became a paragraph. A paragraph became, all right. Now I got to put this into a template where I can really just highlight every single achievement in that sort of fashion, because that's what companies are looking for. They're not only looking for, all right, do you have the skills? They're looking for what can you quantify about those skills that you did? Can you give us examples and provide the statistics behind those that made the difference in whatever it is that I was doing? And attaching that to the resume really just helped refine and refresh a better perspective to get the content that was really necessary to set myself apart. So that was one that I really felt that hit home with me. And then again, obviously, we had so many different things going on at the time. But you put me, you held me accountable for putting my projects in a way that followed the Scampi procedure, but also triggered that initiative. That okay, not only do I need to put this together and put it on paper, but I need to build things that I can use as examples. And from there, kind of just it went on. But
Yeah, and I think that's the big piece there, right? I mean that goes into the um, uh, use cases, right? I mean, I think at the end of the day, that's really where you shined, because by putting these projects together, by doing these different things, you're able to showcase that you have this knowledge, you have and that you can combine the knowledges, and then you can market yourself through the things you've done and the accomplishments you had to the right people.
right, and again, this is all during a time where I'm not only thinking about myself, I'm thinking about my family, right? So there's hesitation. Just to circle back to the last part of that question that you asked me, there was hesitation to commit, right, financially, but you allowed for, especially when I didn't have a paycheck coming in, right? I spent about, I'd have to say, a year and a little over a year and a half without a paycheck, just applying to jobs and relying on my wife, who was working full time during this time, and putting the burden on her. So it was a little bit of a crisis at that time, I guess you could call it, because I wasn't used to that. I always had a job. I always was able to provide for myself
Yeah.
and put food on the table. But not only just my wife, but my kids. So there's a lot of hectic situations and conversations that we had to iron out. But allowing the flexibility to pay for your services through a plan was huge, because I couldn't really generate a big check or whatever amount to satisfy at any given time. I was just relying on unemployment checks and my wife.
Yeah. I mean, the financing plan that we have is really a big piece of it. It's actually helped a lot of people, so I'm glad you brought that up. Um, so yeah, so you went through all these things. Let's get to the juicy part. Let's get to the wins. Let's talk about the first big win you experienced.
Yeah, so we had so many conversations, Dave. I had to put together like a document that tracked my applications, right? Because we started getting a little haywire during the time.
Yeah.
So it was over 1,000 applications that I sent out and I applied for, right? So I have to say right around 700 or 750.
Mm-hmm.
The 750th thereabouts, I finally got I got an interview,
Mm-hmm.
and I got you know a huge jump of energy to just continue going forward. And there was not only just one, but followed suit, started coming in. All the hard work was starting to pay off, and not just one interview, but two and three. It came up about 17 different interviews during this time. But that one I won't forget, because that's the one that kept me going and helped me articulate myself and have conversations with others, especially business owners, to really set the precedence. And even though it took about 4 months during this time with 7 different interview platforms and departments. It was a big role. It was a business intelligence role, but the head of a huge department within an insurance company. So that really hit home, and that was like the big motivating factor, right? Even though I didn't end up getting an offer, it provided the schedule and it allowed me to make my way through that whole process and understand the different components of a big company like this insurance company. So yeah, that one I won't forget because that set the precedence for the 17 that followed.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, yeah, sometimes it only takes one, right? You got to go through the whole process step by step, get that in your system, and then you know what to expect for the future. So you had a lot of interviews, you had a lot of different things, but you kept on going, you kept on pursuing, kept on persisting, and you finally landed on the one that you accepted, and that was so exciting when you called me about that. That was huge. I was with my friends at the time, and I was like, for me, like that's for me. What happened in my mind was like just like the Eminem song that was just like that's for me what happened because I know your story and I know all the work you did and you kept pursuing, kept persisting, and so that was so exciting. When you finally got to the final interview, you got accepted, and then you made it. And so what happened there? Talk to me about that.
I know that was. I still am in shock that I'm sitting here in that position, right? And for proprietary reasons, I won't name company or
Yeah.
position or salary. But what I can say is that it was a dream come true. This is now 2 years of being unemployed, and after a year and a half of interviews, right? So this is definitely around 16th, 17th interview. It might have been the last one. I was interviewing with another two or three companies at that time, which also I was able to get offers from. But this one was the first one that offered me a real position, and I was I was just so ecstatic. It was like everything that I did up until this point really didn't matter, and I had to prove myself, and this one shot was meant for me. That's what it felt like. But it helped not only combine my domain knowledge but my data skills. So it was exactly what I was looking for. I noticed probably after the year and a half mark where I started getting picky on the applications that I was sending out. I was looking for these positions that not only took the domain knowledge that I had in supply chain, but also the data side. And I knew that there were companies out there because I was doing the research, I was listening, I was paying attention to the different articles in the news, knowing that companies really need individuals with split capabilities. Like you can't just come in and just have one specific skill set. You need to be a well defined and well polished individual that can be adaptive, that can take on more than he may be able to do. But it helped realize that the conversations up until this point were making an impact because this is everything that we were working towards.
Totally, totally. So, um, of course, increase your salary by 75%. That was huge win for you, yourself, your family. Um, you got a position that was something that you personally wanted, um, and that's a big piece too because so many people are just like, I'll take whatever. I need, they're in survival mode because why wouldn't you be? It's stressful. But you kept on pursuing and you found something that really fits you. You said you got two offers there, and this one was the best match for your skill set, for where you wanted to go in your future. So it's super exciting. Um, as we come to the end here, we understand kind of where your life is now, and that sort of thing, and the level of success that you've achieved, which is really great. What advice would you give to someone in the same spot you were, in that kind of survival mode, and in that kind of like, what am I going to do, before you started work with me? What kind of advice would you give them, and what would you like to share, kind of on that end of things?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I always like to say that no matter what, believe in yourself. But you have to believe in yourself. You can't let others, you know, say you can't do something, or you can't let others define who you are. You have to define that yourself, right? You have to believe in yourself. You have to commit to yourself. You have to invest in yourself. These are definitely things that I feel that may not be so obvious and we take for granted, but just need to be reminding yourself daily that you got to wake up with purpose. You got to be driven to the fact that if you want something, you need to do the work, go out there and get it done. You need to do the work. That's
Love it.
just period, right?
Love it.
And don't be afraid to ask for help. I know that that's something that a lot of people struggle with. I struggled with that before we met, Dave. I was so confident in myself that I could, land a job just like that, and without worrying about what I had to change. Change is good. Change is a good thing. You can use change. You can make yourself adaptive and fluid, and offer something that others may not be able or willing to do. So a little bit of flexibility and fluidity will help, but also have a plan, right? So you have to have a plan, and you have to set your limits on what it is that what it is that you're looking for, and how much are you looking for. Don't short sell yourself. If anything, oversell yourself. Deliver yourself as a full package, and make sure that that package is set at a price that you're comfortable with, that's also more than what the market value is, because that's how you can sell yourself in a manner that hey, everyone has margins, but as long as you can set a very high margin, then and land just in the middle somewhere, hey, that's a win.
Totally.
So yeah,
Yeah.
and I failed to mention that before the position that I took, I was 75% less of what I was making. That's a huge jump, and it's
Yeah.
not only like something that I was proud of, but it was something that just made me realize, listen, anything is possible, and people are going to take you serious if you take yourself serious. And
100%. I mean, your skills are valuable. And you gotta believe that within yourself. And ask for that as well. So yeah, aligning your value with your ask, is a big piece. This has been a great meeting here. I think we shared a lot of great wisdom, great understanding. I appreciate you coming on the call here, Bill. Thanks for sharing your experience working with me, and you know, to to your growth, man. I hope to see you succeed, and yeah, thanks so much, man. I appreciate you.
thank you, Dave. I appreciate it. Yeah, well, I'm sure we'll be in touch soon.
Awesome, man. Okay, bye bye, everyone.